The penthouse smelled like vanilla candles and coffee when I found the note. 7:42 a.m. Saturday. The morning light cut through floor-to-ceiling windows, making the paper on the kitchen counter glow white. Took Lily to my parents for the weekend. Don't bother calling. My lawyers will be in touch Monday. Derek, I read it 3 times. The mug in my hand, Lily's favorite, the one with the painted sunflowers she'd made at camp, trembled, then steadied. Let me take you back. To understand this moment, you need to know how we got here. 8 months earlier, the divorce was supposed to be civilized. That's what Derek kept saying, his voice smooth as expensive scotch, while his attorney, Martin Voss, silver-haired and shark-eyed, slid papers across the conference table. Joint custody, naturally, Martin said. Derek travels extensively for work, so primary residence with him makes sense. Every other weekend for you, Miss Torres. Holidays alternating. I looked at my lawyer, Patricia Chun. She was young, hungry, brilliant. I'd hired her on my father's recommendation. No, I said quietly. Derek's jaw tightened. Excuse me. Primary custody stays with me. Lily is 6. She needs stability. I can provide stability. I'm the one with the established career, the house in Brookline, then the affair with her paralegal? My voice didn't rise. The one you brought to Lily's ballet recital last month. The room went cold. Martin recovered first. Personal matters aside, Mr. Hayes is prepared to be extremely generous financially. The house, the cars, a settlement that would make you very comfortable. I don't want his money. I looked at Derek. I want our daughter to have the life we promised her. The one where her parents put her first. Derek leaned back. That smile I'd once loved now cold as marble. You can't win this, Elena. You're a freelance translator. I'm a senior partner at Hayes & Morrison. Every judge will see that you work 80 hours a week, that Lily cries when you miss her bedtime 3 nights in a row. I turned to Patricia. What did we discuss? She opened her briefcase. Mr. Hayes, your client's income is substantial. Miss Torres's proposal is simple. She gets primary custody. You get generous visitation every weekend if you choose, plus extended summer vacation. In exchange, she asks for minimal child support, just $5,000 monthly. Martin laughed. That's remarkably reasonable. What's the catch? The punitive clause. Patricia slid a new document across the table. If Mr. Hayes violates the custody agreement, takes Lily out of state without written consent, misses more than 3 scheduled visitations in 6 months, or attempts to relocate Lily without court approval, he pays Ms. Torres $10 million. Silence. Derek's face went red. That's insane. $10 million for what? Being late picking her up? No. I met his eyes. $10 million for trying to control me through her daughter. For using her as leverage. This agreement protects Lily from becoming a pawn. It's extortion. It's incentive. Patricia's voice was crisp. To follow the rules you're about to agree to. If you genuinely want what's best for Lily, this clause costs you nothing. You simply honor the custody schedule. Martin whispered urgently to Derek. I watched my soon-to-be ex-husband's face cycle through emotions, rage, calculation, arrogance. Fine. He grabbed a pen. Put it in. I'll never trigger it anyway. I'm not some deadbeat who breaks court orders. He signed without reading the fine print. I signed knowing every word by heart. The first 6 months were smooth. Derek showed up for his weekends. Brought Lily back on time. Played the devoted father at school events. Always with his new girlfriend Amber, 28, blonde. Worked in his firm's marketing department. Then last Tuesday, everything shifted. I was working from home, translating a legal brief from Portuguese, when Derek called. I need to take Lily to California next week. My parents are celebrating their 40th anniversary. That sounds lovely. Let me check the calendar. I'm not asking permission, Elena. I'm informing you. I set down my pen. The custody agreement requires written consent for out-of-state travel. Email me the details. I'll review them. Jesus Christ, you're exhausting. It's my parents' anniversary. My family. Lily's family too. I'm not saying no, Derek. I'm saying follow the agreement you signed. He hung up. No email came. No request. Just silence. Then this morning, the note. The empty bedroom with Lily's overnight bag gone. Her stuffed rabbit missing from the bed. I picked up my phone. Pressed Patricia's number. He took her, I said. No consent. No communication. Just a note saying his lawyers will call Monday. Patricia was quiet for 3 seconds. Did he cross state lines? The note says his parents' house. That's in Connecticut. Then he's triggered the clause. Her voice held something sharp and satisfied. Elena, do you want to proceed? I looked at the note again. Don't bother calling. 6 years of marriage. 2 years of watching him prioritize work over family. 18 months of gentle co-parenting while he introduced Lily to a parade of girlfriends. 8 months of me biding my tongue, playing nice, being reasonable. And now this. Taking my daughter without permission. Daring me to fight back. Yes, I said. Proceed. I'll file the motion first thing Monday morning. But Elena? This will get ugly. It already is ugly. I set down the sunflower mug. I'm just done pretending it's not. Monday morning, 9:15 a.m. Patricia filed the emergency motion. By noon, Derek's phone was ringing off the hook. He called me at 12:47. I let it go to voicemail. Elena, what the hell? Martin just called. You're suing me for $10 million? Over a weekend with my parents? This is psychotic. Call me back. Now. I deleted it. Made lunch. Waited. The second call came at 2:33 p.m. You can't be serious. It was a family event. Any judge will throw this out. You're making yourself look vindictive and crazy. I saved that one. Patricia said his tone would be useful. At 4:15, a text. Think about Lily. Do you want her to see her parents in court? I replied. I thought about Lily when you took her without permission. See you in court. Tuesday, the real pressure started. Derek's mother called. Elena, sweetie, this is a misunderstanding. Derek just wanted Lily to celebrate with us. Surely you can't object to family time. I don't, Margaret. I object to Derek violating a legal agreement. But $10 million? That's so mercenary. Derek signed it. He knew the terms. He didn't think you'd actually enforce something so ridiculous. I kept my voice gentle. That's the problem, isn't it? He didn't think I'd enforce my boundaries at all. She hung up. Wednesday brought Derek's sister, his college roommate, even his boss, senior partner Morrison himself, all calling to tell me I was being unreasonable, vengeful, cruel. I said the same thing to each. He violated a court order. Actions have consequences. Thursday, Martin Voss requested an emergency meeting. Patricia and I sat across from him and Derek in a conference room that smelled like leather and desperation. Derek looked terrible. Circles under his eyes. Tie loose. The cocky confidence gone. Elena. His voice cracked. Please. I made a mistake. I should have asked permission. I'm sorry. You're sorry you got caught. No. I'm sorry He ran his hands through his hair. I thought the clause was just posturing. I didn't think. You didn't think I'd hold you accountable. I looked at Martin. Did you advise your client that the clause was legally binding? Martin's jaw worked. I advised him to negotiate it out. He chose not to. Because he was arrogant, I said. Because he assumed I'd never enforce it. That I'd be too scared, too nice, too desperate to keep the peace. Derek leaned forward. What do you want? Really? More custody time? Higher child support? Name it. I want you to understand that Lily is not your property. That agreements matter. That you can't just do whatever you want because you're Derek Hayes, senior partner, big man with the corner office. So this is about ego? About punishing me. This is about consequences. I stood. You took my daughter across state lines without consent. You left a note instead of having a conversation. You assumed I'd just accept it. Patricia opened her briefcase. We're prepared to settle. Mr. Hayes pays the $10 million as specified in the agreement. In exchange, we adjust the custody arrangement. Derek's face went white. Adjust how? Primary custody remains with Ms. Torres. Your visitation drops to supervised visits for 6 months. After that, we revisit based on your compliance record. You can't. I'm her father. A father who can't follow a simple custody agreement. Patricia's voice was steel. A father who prioritizes his convenience over his daughter's stability. A father who thought rules didn't apply to him. Martin whispered urgently to Derek. I watched my ex-husband's face cycle through rage, panic, calculation. I don't have $10 million liquid, he finally said. The firm, my investments, the house, it's all tied up. Then you'll figure it out. I moved toward the door. You're a senior partner. I'm sure you're very resourceful. Elena, wait. Derek stood. What if I agree to the supervised visits? Drop the $10 million, and I'll accept the new terms. I paused. Looked at Patricia. She gave the slightest nod. No, I said. Derek's mouth fell open. What? You violated a legal agreement. The penalty is $10 million. Whether I enforce the custody change is separate. I met his eyes. You want to keep unsupervised visits? Pay the $10 million and prove for 6 months you can follow basic rules. Then we'll talk. That's extortion. That's the agreement you signed. I opened the door. You have until Friday to make the first payment. $2 million up front, the rest in quarterly installments over 2 years. Patricia will send the payment schedule. I walked out. Behind me, Derek's voice rose in protest. I kept walking. Friday afternoon, 4:47 p.m. I was reading to Lily, back home, safe, none the wiser about the legal battle, when my phone chimed. A text from Patricia, first payment received. $2 million wire transfer confirmed. I kissed Lily's forehead. She smelled like strawberry shampoo in childhood. Mama, why are you smiling? Because you're home, baby, where you belong. Daddy said we were going to Grandma's. I know, but Daddy forgot to ask permission first. He made a mistake. She processed this with 6-year-old logic. Like when I took cookies without asking? Exactly like that. Did Daddy have to go to timeout? I laughed. Something like that. That night, after Lily was asleep, I poured wine and sat by the window. The city lights spread below like scattered diamonds. My phone rang. Derek. Against my better judgment, I answered. I hope you're happy. His voice was hollow. You've destroyed me financially. The firm is questioning my judgment. Amber left. My reputation is built on the assumption you're untouchable. I finished. That assumption was wrong. Silence. Then, did you plan this? The whole thing. I planned to protect my daughter. You chose to test whether I was serious. The clause was excessive. No reasonable person. You signed it, Derek. You agreed to terms you thought I'd never enforce because you saw me as weak, as manageable. I sipped my wine. That was your mistake. What do you want me to say? That you won? Fine. You won. This isn't about winning. I set down my glass. It's about Lily growing up knowing her mother couldn't be pushed around. That agreements matter. That actions have consequences. I hung up. 6 months later, I sat in family court for the custody review hearing. Derek entered looking diminished, thinner, older, the swagger gone. He'd made every supervised visit, followed every rule, paid every installment on time. His new lawyer, he'd fired Martin after the debacle, stood. Your Honor, Mr. Hayes has complied with all terms of the agreement. He requests a return to the original custody arrangement. Judge Morrison, no relation to Derek's boss, reviewed the file. Ms. Torres, your position. I stood. Your Honor, I propose a modified arrangement. Mr. Hayes gets unsupervised weekend visits resuming immediately. However, any out-of-state travel still requires written consent, submitted at least 2 weeks in advance. And the financial penalty clause remains in effect. Derek's lawyer started to object. Derek put a hand on his arm, shook his head. That's acceptable, Derek said quietly. The judge raised an eyebrow. Mr. Hayes, you understand you're agreeing to continue the $10 million penalty clause? I do, Your Honor. Derek looked at me. I understand why it's necessary. Judge Morrison signed the order. Let's hope we don't see each other again. This child needs her parents working together, not battling in my courtroom. Outside the courthouse, Derek caught up to me. Elena, can we talk? Just for a minute. I checked my watch. 1 minute. I've been in therapy. Working on a lot of things. He looked uncomfortable. My therapist says I have control issues. That I use money and status to manipulate people. Your therapist sounds smart. The thing is, you're the first person who ever really stood up to me. Everyone else just let me get away with everything. He shoved his hands in his pockets. I hated you for it at first. The lawsuit, the money, the humiliation. And now I think maybe Lily needs to see that. Needs to know her mother doesn't back down. He met my eyes. I'm not asking for forgiveness. I know I don't deserve it. But I want you to know I'm trying to be better. For her. I studied his face. Saw something I hadn't seen in years. Genuine humility. Then be better, Derek. Show up. Follow the rules. Put her first. I started toward my car. The custody agreement gives you every chance to be a good father. Don't waste it. 1 year after the lawsuit, Lily's 7th birthday party filled my apartment with chaos and joy. Derek arrived exactly on time, carrying an enormous wrapped present and wearing jeans instead of his usual suit. Daddy, Lily launched herself at him. He caught her, spun her around, his face lighting up in a way I remembered from when we first met. Happy birthday, princess. 7 years old. You're practically grown up. Mama said you could stay for cake. Derek glanced at me. I nodded. We sang happy birthday. Ate too much sugar. Derek sat on the floor playing with Lily and her friends, fully present in a way he never had been during our marriage. After the party, while Lily showed her presents to her grandmother on video chat, Derek helped me clean up. You've made every payment on time, I said, loading the dishwasher. 3 million down, 7 to go. Yeah. He tied off a garbage bag. Turns out having real consequences makes you very organized. How's the firm? I stepped back from senior partner. Too many hours, too much stress. He smiled wryly. Funny thing, I see Lily more now than when I was fighting you for primary custody. Turns out showing up matters more than winning. I handed him a plate. Derek, the remaining 7 million. I'm putting it in a trust for Lily. Education, first house, whatever she needs. He stopped mid-reach. What? I never wanted your money. I wanted you to understand you can't just take what you want. I met his eyes. You've learned that. The money should go to our daughter. His voice went rough. You could have done anything with it. I know, but this was never about punishing you. It was about protecting her. Elena, he set down the plate. Thank you for not giving up on me being a decent father. For not just writing me off. You're Lily's dad. She loves you. I want her to have the best version of you. I smiled. Even if I had to sue you into becoming him. He laughed. Actually laughed. Most expensive parenting lesson ever. But effective. 2 years after the lawsuit, Derek made his final payment. I signed the trust documents transferring all 10 million to Lily's future. Patricia called to congratulate me. You know, most of my clients would have kept the money, she said. I have enough. My translation business is thriving. Lily has stability. I looked out my window at the city. The money was never the point. What was the point? Teaching a powerful man that he couldn't bulldoze his way through life. That his daughter was watching and learning what relationships should look like. I smiled, teaching myself the same thing. That weekend, Derek picked up Lily for their scheduled visit. She chattered about school, her art class, her best friend's new puppy. Before they left, Derek paused at the door. I'm seeing someone, he said quietly. It's early, but it's getting serious. I wanted you to hear it from me before I introduce her to Lily. What's she like? Kind. Patient. A middle school teacher. He smiled. She doesn't put up with my bullshit. Reminds me of you, actually. Smart woman. Yeah. He looked at me, really looked. You changed my life, Elena. Not just the lawsuit. Everything. You showed me who I was becoming. Gave me a chance to be better. After they left, I made tea and sat in the quiet apartment. Thought about the woman I'd been 3 years ago. Exhausted from single parenting, terrified of the divorce, convinced Derek would use his money and status to crush me. She'd stood up anyway. Demanded respect. Refused to be intimidated. The revenge wasn't in taking Derek's money, though watching him squirm had been satisfying. It was in this. I taught my daughter that her mother was strong. That boundaries mattered. That kindness didn't mean weakness. I taught Derek that power without accountability was just bullying. And I taught myself that I could be soft and fierce at the same time. My phone chimed. A text from Lily. Daddy says we can stop for ice cream. Love you, Mama. I smiled. Type back. Have fun, baby. See you Sunday. The custody agreement sat in my file cabinet. That $10 million clause now just a footnote in Lily's trust documents. It had served its purpose, not as punishment, but as a boundary. And boundaries, I'd learned, were just love in its most protective form. Outside my window, the city glowed with possibility. My business was expanding. Lily was thriving. Derek was finally the father he should have been all along. I'd used the legal system not for revenge, but for justice, for protection, for teaching everyone involved, including myself, that respect wasn't negotiable. The quiet translator had become a woman who knew her worth. And that, more than any dollar amount, was the real victory.